The movie begins by introducing us to a young boy named Kum. Kum is the last in a line of elephant protector warriors known as Jadaron Kabar, following the tradition of his ancestors. He lives with his father in a remote village, far away from the modern world. Their bond with the elephants, considered sacred in Thailand, brings them immense joy, and their most cherished elephant is Poirier. As Kum grows older, Poirier gives birth to a baby elephant named Corn. Watching Kum and Corn play together brings immense happiness to his father. Little do they know that danger is lurking nearby. A group of elephant poachers has their eyes on Corn and plans to take him away. Luckily, Corn's mother intervenes, startling the poachers. In their panic, one of the poachers accidentally fires a gunshot, hitting Corn's mother. The poachers flee, leaving the wounded mother behind. Unfortunately, the gunshot proves fatal, and Corn's mother tragically loses her life. In honor of the fallen elephant, Kum and the villagers come together for a solemn funeral ceremony. The loss of their beloved elephant deeply saddens Kum, and even little Corn sheds tears. Later on, Kum and his father discuss the idea of presenting Poirier to the king during the Songkran Water Festival, which is a great honor. Before they part for the festival, Kum says his goodbyes to Poirier. The festival is a lively event with dancers, visitors from far and wide, and many elephants joining in the celebration. Kum and his father take Poirier for a health check before the royal presentation. However, Kum is not allowed to enter the examination area, so he decides to enjoy the festival with Corn. While wandering around, Corn asks for a belt to wear around his neck. Meanwhile, at the examination site, Kum's father becomes increasingly uneasy as Poirier is about to be taken away. Suddenly, one of the poachers who had shot Corn's mother appears, and Poirier recognizes him, growing restless. Realizing that something is amiss, Kum's father refuses to hand over Poirier, leading to a confrontation. In the chaos that ensues, the gang leader shoots Kum's father. In response, Poirier goes on a rampage, driving away the attackers. On the other hand, Corn is plying in the water when he is unexpectedly captured by the poachers. With no one around to protect him, Corn is loaded onto a sand mining truck. Upon learning of this, Poirier changes course and pursues the kidnapper's truck. Witnessing his father being shot, Kum becomes overwhelmed with confusion and fear about the unfolding events. In his father's final moments, Kum receives a heartfelt plea to find Poirier and Corn. Without wasting any time, Kum embarks on a mission to locate his two missing elephants. However, the gang of elephant poachers manages to ensnare Poirier in a pitfall. Unfortunately, when Kum arrives, it's too late to save his beloved elephants. With Poirier and Corn missing, and their whereabouts unknown, a special ritual is performed to gain clues about their location. Kum receives vital information that leads him to the poachers' hideout. Meanwhile, the gang of poachers is celebrating their success at the hideout. Not long after, Kum reaches the hideout and bursts in, launching a fierce attack on the poachers. With his exceptional Muay Thai skills, Kum inflicts injuries on all the poachers. No one can withstand his powerful strikes, and even the gang leader falls to his might. Kum forces the gang leader to reveal where Poirier and Corn are. However, Kum's efforts are in vain, as the gang leader discloses that he has already sold the two elephants to the most powerful gangster in Australia. Shortly thereafter, in Sydney, a police officer named Tom is being interviewed about Asian traditions in Australia, especially with the growing Asian population, as Tom himself is of Thai descent. While Tom is getting a haircut, his fellow officer Rick informs him about an ongoing robbery. Tom rushes to the scene where he encounters a young masked robber. The police arrive and ask the robber to surrender, but Tom casually steps in and recognizes the robber as a fellow Thai. Tom easily captures the suspect and decides to release him on their way back, believing it's pointless to detain him. However, Rick objects, citing procedure violations. In a different location, a Thai woman named Pla receives a warning to settle her debts within 2 weeks. Meanwhile, a meeting of a prominent Chinese gangster family is taking place. Here, we are introduced to Sue Teen, who runs the largest mafia branch in Australia. During the meeting, Sue Teen seeks the attention of the gangster boss, but he doesn't seem to like her. Meanwhile, Cum arrives in Australia without a clear destination, only showing an address to a taxi driver. Unfortunately, he unknowingly boards a fake taxi driven by a criminal wanted by the police for drug dealing. Tom receives a call to pursue this fake taxi driver, and he turns out to be a skilled driver. They eventually corner the fake taxi driver, who threatens to kill Cum. However, Cum manages to disarm him with a single move. Suddenly, a corrupt police officer named Vincent arrives and shoots the fake taxi driver. Feeling innocent, Cum tries to escape the police chase, but is eventually captured. Upon discovering that Cum is from Thailand, Tom decides to handle the case personally. Inside the car, Cum explains to Tom his mission in Sydney, which to rescue his kidnapped siblings. Believing Cum is not a bad person, Tom agrees to assist him. When they stop at a Thai restaurant, Cum notices Johnny, a Vietnamese gangster he's been searching for. Cum escapes from Tom's car to confront Johnny, who is in the middle of a drug deal. Johnny, annoyed by the interruption, orders his henchmen to attack Cum. Their fight is fierce, and Cum, a skilled warrior, easily defeats them with deadly Muay Thai moves. However, Cum eventually becomes exhausted and passes out. Pla, out of pity, discovers him and takes him home to tend to his injuries. The next day, Cum wakes up at Pla's house, feeling disoriented. He has a dream about being a guardian warrior for the king's elephants. Upon waking up, he hears police sirens and decides to flee. The scene shifts to Tom and Rick escorting a secretary general who is denied entry to a location where two men are bathing with three women, including Pla, who is reluctantly involved to pay off her debt. In the midst of a bath, one of the men with the women has a heart attack. Suddenly, a masked robber enters, who Tom had previously released because they were both Thai. Before the masked robber can explain anything, Vincent arrives and shoots him. Shockingly, Vincent also shoots Rick, leaving Tom unharmed. Tom manages to escape. Meanwhile, Pla hides and secretly records the incident, plotting to use it as evidence against Vincent for the murders. She intends to give it to the police, but changes her mind when she sees Vincent leaving the police building. On the run, Tom receives a call from an acquaintance, who claims to have evidence proving his innocence. However, it turns out to be a trap set by Vincent and Johnny, who are working together to capture Tom. The scene shifts to Pla's home, where she is arrested by a group of police officers for interrogation. Luckily, Cum arrives to rescue her. Pla then reveals everything to Cum, including the existence of a Thai gangster syndicate at her former workplace. She suggests that Cum's missing sibling might be there. Pla then takes Cum to the mentioned restaurant, and with courage, he bargains in to confront all the guards. Inside, Cum discovers a hidden door leading to another part of the restaurant. The gangsters there try to force him out, but Cum proves unstoppable. After defeating them, Cum finally finds Johnny. Johnny tries to intimidate Cum by throwing Corn's bell. Inside, Cum sees people consuming rare and protected animals, leading him to believe that Corn might have been eaten by them. Although briefly incapacitated, Cum rises once more and, with incredible strength, unleashes his deadly Muay Thai techniques, defeating Johnny and his henchmen. Inside, Cum discovers numerous rare protected animals that have become commodities for greedy individuals. Furious about not finding Corn, Cum takes down the remaining gangsters. Surprisingly, he also finds Tom, who had once helped him but is now being held captive. In addition to Tom, there are many captive women, and out of compassion, Cum immediately rescues Tom. By chance, Corn is found, much to Tom's surprise. It turns out that the sibling Cum was referring to is an elephant. Finally, Cum, Tom, and Corn manage to escape from the gangster hideout. Meanwhile, Soutine is hosting a banquet with her gangster family. She faces pressure once again, as she is considered unfit to continue the family business. Through cunning tactics, Soutine manages to poison the remaining heirs, making herself the sole inheritor of the gangster business. After dinner, Soutine goes to take a bath. Johnny then reports that he has failed to defeat Cum. This angers Soutine, and she orders Johnny to leave. Suddenly, Vincent arrives. It turns out that Vincent is romantically involved with Soutine. Switching to Cum and Tom's location, they find refuge in a Buddhist temple while the police are actively searching for them. Unexpectedly, Vincent cunningly attacks the temple. Upon returning, Cum and Tom find the temple in ruins and on fire. Here, Cum encounters and battles Thug. Thug uses his techniques to corner Cum, but Cum manages to defeat him using the Dragon Warrior's moves and spinning kicks. Suddenly, Pong appears and unleashes his flying sword technique. In this battle, Pong fights Cum with his swordsmanship. Cum initially struggles but keeps his composure. Using a gong mallet, Cum gains a new skill and defeats Pong. A new opponent named Chol emerges, twice the size of Cum. Even when attacked from various angles, Cum fails to penetrate Chol's defenses. Fortunately, the police arrive, causing Chol to retreat and leaving Cum injured. Elsewhere, Pla secretly meets with the police chief to hand over evidence of Vincent's murders. The following day, Cum and Korn boldly appear at the inauguration of Suteen's business. They demand the return of Poor Ye, capturing everyone's attention. Vincent is also present, and a showdown is inevitable. While chasing Vincent, Cum is suddenly cornered at gunpoint. However, when the elevator opens, Tom and other police officers manage to incapacitate Vincent and his henchmen. Tom confronts Vincent to settle the score and the trap set by Vincent against him. Suddenly, Johnny appears and shoots both Tom and Vincent. Tom threatens Johnny to lower his weapon and surrender. However, Johnny shoots Vincent instead, motivated by resentment towards him. Meanwhile, Cum finally arrives at Suteen's headquarters. It's a heartbreaking sight as he discovers Poor Ye's tragic fate. Poor Ye has been turned into a statue by Suteen, and only his ivory remains. Cum's heart aches with sorrow and anger. As the guardian of the sacred elephant, he unleashes his full power mercilessly, defeating all the gangsters without needing weapons. Then, Chol reappears. Cum puts up a strong fight, but Chol gets assistance from Suteen, who uses a whip to hinder Cum. Cum gets beaten and injured, and 3 of Chol's friends join in, overwhelming him. Cum is pushed into a corner, but suddenly, Korn arrives and tries to help. Cum recalls his father's advice and finds new strength, using a weapon made from Poor Ye's extremely hard ivory. Now, Cum becomes nearly unstoppable. Despite Suteen's whip and Chol's attacks with the stone statue, Cum endures the pain. He cleverly turns Poor Ye's ivory into a sharp weapon, as if Poor Ye is fighting by his side. Cum then disables all of Chol's vital muscles and defeats him with a final powerful blow. With all her henchmen defeated, Suteen tries to escape in helicopter, but Cum arrives in time to stop her. In the end, Tom's reputation is restored as he exposes the gangsters' crimes and apprehends them. The film concludes with Cum reuniting with Korn after their intense battle. Moral lesson from the story: never leave your elephant alone at a gangster's party, or they might turn your beloved friend into a statue.